All right. Welcome, everybody. We're another Tuesday, Thursday, week two. We've got Tony Pellegrini from SUU leading the charge today. Looking forward to what he's got to share with us, and I'll turn the time over to him.
Hey, everyone, just want to say thank you so very much for the great start. I haven't had an opportunity to touch base with the other instructors, but the other coaches. Oh, my goodness, what wonderful work you're doing. I've just been tickled and impressed with the great start that you've had. So please give yourself a pat on the back. Have your sweetheart take you out to dinner. You're doing great. You're doing absolutely wonderful. A couple of things, just kind of informationally, that I wanted to share. Give me just a moment let me get to our page. Give me just a second. Oh, great. Of course, where it is. Here we go. And let me share my screen with you. I wanted to share with you, I had a couple of learners give me some great ideas this week, and I wanted to share them with you so you're not surprised. In our class, I have, and again, I have not asked permission to the other instructors. If you don't like this, we'll talk. But I put an announcement in the announcement. We have some participants. Some of you may be struggling to get to different technology conferences. First of all, the technology conference, as a part of the endorsement, does not have to be completed in this term. Okay, so please don't sweat that you have to make it, before April. March or April. It just needs to be done before you apply for your license. But if you hear of a great technology conference this spring, would you reply to this announcement anytime during the semester with some contact information or what your thoughts are, so your peers could take a look at that, and we may be interested in participating. So if that's available to you and open to you, we'd love to get that to happen. And so would you please consider that? I want to take just a moment and go through the modules. Give me just a second here to move this up and kind of out of the way there. There we go. And you've done Carol did a great job last week with module number 1, our introduction. She really has done a wonderful job with kind of pulling this thing together. She's our organizational mind. She keeps things practical and on task, and we love that. We need to keep Tony on task. It's a full-time job for poor Carol. But I really liked this part associated with the course projects and overviews and expectations between modules 1 and 2. It gives you kind of a preview of what you need to be looking for and working for bit by bit, bite by bite. Eat this whale one bite at a time over this semester, over this next 11 weeks. And so just real quickly, if you click on Technology Integration Project, there are 5 parts to that. Carol went over that well last week. The individual planning that you're going to be doing. Hopefully you'll share that, if not with your coach or your instructor, with maybe a peer in the class or your technology specialist in your building or your district, just someone to share that with and to get another set of eyes on that. Then there has to be implementation of that. And then there'll be a brief presentation that you create to share that information. It doesn't need to be through Novio like it says here. Any tool that you would like to is just fine with that. And then some individual reflection associated with what you learned through that process. We do give you some examples down here, but again, that's due in week 11 or 12. And we wanted we don't want you doing it all during week 11. It's a little too much of a big bite of that whale to eat if you try to do it all at one time. So I just wanted to take a moment and make sure that you were comfortable or at least aware of that. And then the online portfolio is due week 12. It should include an educational philosophy statement, at least one artifact from the tools that you'll be creating through this course. And then embed a link from the projects you've created, your week 3 assignment, your 5 assignment, week 6, week 7, and then of course one project or one project from this course as well. And then a learning transformation statement. We give you some examples of those as well as samples down here. So please take a look at those. If you have specific questions or concerns, your anxiety goes up, please reach out to your individual instructors. You know where to find if you don't know who your instructor is, go to people on the left-hand side of your Canvas class and you'll be able to find out who your instructor is. So I just want to make sure that those were highlighted and you were comfortable with those. I'd like you to take you through Module 3 now, and give me just a second. Here we go.
Let's do Module 2 this week.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Clint. I do not want to take you through Module 3. I want to take you through Module 2. With just a brief overview. It takes all of us. We need parents, we need students, we need peers to help us put together and complete our technology integration plan. And so that's kind of our overview of what we want to consider those that you're really serving. We want this to be practical and applicable for you, hopefully during spring term. If not during spring term, maybe during the fall. But we want this to be something that you'll actually use and integrate and implement within your activities. Our Zoom seminar today, we are going to get to the slides in just a moment. Oh my goodness gracious, give me just a second, come down here again. I'm going to skip over that one because the Zoom seminar, because we're going to get to that. I have put the links to the readings. They're all in Canvas, but in particular, I know it's a little bit of an older text, but some of the things that Marzano asks us to do in regards to integrating technology into our lesson plannings, I think are profound. And I've been very impressed this week with those of you that have been willing to share your perspectives from the text that you've shared. So thank you so very much for that. And I want to make sure that you had access to that, or at least were aware of that. And then we do have a discussion this week, the big picture, EdTech, the big picture. I would encourage you to download this document from Common Sense Education. You're going to be invited to put together, as a part of your technology plan, some components of digital citizenship. And I thought these were particularly appropriate and helpful ideas or guides and even lessons and mini lessons that you can incorporate within the lessons that you have. And so as you look at this particular resource, I do want you to at least skim over that. So as you look at a discussion this week, think about how you might implement or integrate some of these skills, some of these attitudes that you found through the Common Sense document within your lessons and your learners in regards to social media and social contacts that they have with other students. We live in an extremely different world today than we have even just a year or 2 or 3 or 5 ago. And we want our kids to connect throughout their school, throughout their class, throughout the district, even throughout the world, but in as safe and as an appropriate way as possible, to share their ideas and show that their learning is important and essential in their activities. And then finally, we do have the 3 assignments, one of which, thank you, Clint, you've added to this week, and I think that's wonderful. But first, assignment number A, we've talked a little bit, or I've shared, not talked very much. I've done all the talking, but I am going to let some others talk here in just a second. Your final project will be this online portfolio establishment. I have put a link in this. Part of it is going to be reviewing your peers. And so I did want you to look at this and make sure that you signed up as you get your project set up and started, humbly started. I would like you to make sure that you put a link to your project in here so that peers can review these. Thank you so much, Clint, for posting in the chat. That's a great perspective. I'm thankful for that. Okay, give me just a moment here.
Tony, man, a portfolio sounds intimidating.
It
I
does.
never did set up
It does. But relax. Again, eat it one bite at a time. Let me go back and try to break this into smaller bites for you here. This is, and again, if you get anxious or scared, you are to reach out to your instructor and say, Tony, or whoever your instructor is, take 10 or 15 minutes with me. Walk me through establishing a site or portfolio, or how I'm going to publish this site, or how can I change the settings so that you and others can look at this? How do I make this public? Let your instructor hold you by the hand gently and walk you through this if you require that. Don't be shy. Does that sound like a plan, Clint?
Yeah, we just want you to have a place to put your projects and things to share like that.
Absolutely.
If you already have a classroom website that's public, you're welcome to use that. Just make another, tab or page or part of that will work for you.
Perfect. Absolutely. Do not recreate the wheel. We are going to hear about elements from the readings tonight. And again, this is another one that I just moved forward on this. I did not ask the instructors. I think coaches on the other, in other semesters, we've kind of picked a podcast from the week that we thought was for lack of a better word, a winner. Does that ring a bell, Clint?
Absolutely.
Carol, Brandon?
Yep.
Wonderful. So, Carol, I last week it was just Tony and Clint doing presentations through Nearpod. I'm going to defer and say that Clint won. And so what I would like to do, instructors, is I apologize. I'm home a little bit sick today. I don't have the t-shirt to show off, but I've got a bunch of SUU teacher education t-shirts. So instructors and coaches, if you will pick a winner each week, and then whoever wins, will you email me your size and your email or your mail address? I will send you your award of an SUU teacher education t-shirt. Clint, I'll drop yours off the SEDC tomorrow.
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, though.
You are welcome. You've earned it and then some. But I would encourage you, as far as this assignment, to go ahead and sign up for a seminar element. And so as you click on this, give me just a second. Where do I do that? In this assignment, sign up for that schedule, and it'll take you to the element sign up sheet here. And so we have these that are presenting this week.
No, it's this year's.
You okay?
Yeah, no, it's this year's. I just didn't. It says Flipgrid still at the top, and it's flip.
Okay. Let me see if I can. Yeah,
I got it. I'm on
you
it.
got that? Thank you so very much.
Yep.
I think it is this year. And so we've got this year's presentations, and I'm going to go through those as we go through our slideshow here in just a second. But we do have a winner, but I'm going to pause, or I'm going to wait to hold off to that, announce that till we do it in our assignments, or excuse me, in our slideshow. So I think that covers everything within the module. So with everything covered within the modules, and if you disagree with me, please stop me and say, Tony, give me more information on this or that. I'm happy to do so.
There's one more.
Is there one more?
A new one that I added this week.
Thank you so much. I apologize. Yes, the technology integration project goals. A short paragraph, 2, 3, 4 sentences at the most. What are your goals for technology integration? Again, think beyond this class. What have you learned through your courses, through UEN, through these courses? How are you using or putting into place or want to put into place the learning that you've acquired through these ETEP courses? And what technology in your classroom would you like to integrate or learn to use better? Please put that in there. We'd love to see what that is, what you're hoping to do. These are hopes and dreams, okay? So please, just a short paragraph for that. Clint, thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Yep.
Let me come now back to our PowerPoint for the week. And again, if you'll go into, it's just under Zoom seminar. And if you click to this little link, view on the Google Slides, let me just open up the slides. It may be just a little bit easier. Let me do that as a slideshow. and kind of take you through here. And these links should be hot for you to be able to click on as well too. Thank you, coaches and instructors for class. We couldn't do it without you. We're here to make things as understandable and supportive as we possibly can. Will you check your pulse for me? I don't know necessarily that you're relaxed, but hopefully you're okay. And I'm not increasing your stress, but I'm decreasing your stress through this. If you are not okay, please let your instructor know. We want to make sure that we can do whatever we can to lower that stress and make things work for you. As I've said earlier, it has been wonderful getting to know you through your week 1 introductions. We've got an eclectic, a diverse group. I'm just so excited. The more the longer I teach these, not necessarily more, the longer I teach these, the more excited I am that my grandkids are in your classrooms throughout the state and are participating. It's just a fun place to live and learn. We've talked a little about the technology integration project. It's due week 11. We've gone over these parts, these little pieces, but you need to design, implement, reflect on technology rich learning. It can be a large class. It can be a small class. It could just be a few students that you're working with on this particular project. We want to make it meaningful for you, that you will implement this at some time, hopefully this term, but if not this term, in the future. We want to make it interesting and relevant to you. Please, please pull things that are going to be motivational for you into this. And then Carol's beat you. No, Carol didn't beat you up. I'm beating you up this week. Carol reminded you or informed you last week, but get this done by week 7 as far as the planning, the organization, the discussion about it, because you do need to do it for 4 weeks. And we need to get it completed before week 12.
Tony?
Yes, please.
I'm not in the classroom teaching. How can I implement my project for 4 weeks?
Oh, you are so great. We can get that narrowed down to, yes, put together a plan. Thank you so much, Brandon. We can get that narrowed down to a small group. If you're in my class, I would not mind if you did that with a couple of neighborhood children that you wanted to invite over to do, or if you wanted to volunteer in a classroom, in your child's classroom, and bring those opportunities into your child's classroom through your teacher. Yes, get permission from the teacher. Yes, get permission from the principal. But those would be a couple of options. If you are looking for work, maybe you, as a teacher, you might want to reach out to a local school and see if your principal would allow you to bring these particular lessons or activities in as a trial, a teaching trial, to give you an opportunity to demonstrate some of your teaching skills. Brandon, would any of those work for you?
Yes, they all would work for me.
That's what I love about you, Brandon. Just about anything works for you. But if you have specific situations or challenges, Brandon and anyone else, don't be shy. Speak right up to your instructor. Let him or her know about those and get something worked out. But don't suffer in silence, like Carol said last week. Let us know, if not in class today, as soon as possible, so that we can get those addressed. We've already gone over the project guidelines as a part of class. We've got some student samples here. These are pretty straightforward, but I just wanted to make sure that you had these in front of you. So week 2 assignments, the big picture. Post by Sunday, please, please, please post by Sunday. This is part of the most difficult part of the class, honestly, is, oh my gosh, trying to get that in, because if you wait till Thursday night, it really doesn't give your peers much time to respond to you. And we want it to be as reflective as a face-to-face class as we possibly can. And so there has to be opportunities for conversation and communication between one another. And then after Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, please, please post to a couple of peers so that we can, I go in, at least in my class on Thursday mornings, usually, and get those reviewed and scored. But please, an original post by Sunday, 2 replies by Wednesday. And then with assignment A on the online portfolio assessment, we've gone over that already, as well as assignment B, the element sign up sheet. We've done that. And then Clint, I apologize, I didn't get C in here fast enough, but I'll get C.
I'm adding it right now. I'm adding it.
I'll get that in there. Thank you so much, Clint. I appreciate you. Thanks for being a good teammate. Let's go to the next readings. Just links here to the art and science of reading, and then the supplemental readings that you'll need to do your elements on. These are quick, straightforward. Yes, a little bit dated. I apologize, but I think they are very, very pertinent, even for today, in particular with Marzano's work that you have.
And just a heads up, the links on that slide probably aren't going to work for you unless you're in Tony's section.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There.
Yep.
It's okay. They're all different links and different courses and stuff.
Yep. Thank you so much. Email me if you have challenges or questions or concerns associated with this. And Clint, maybe you could try, would they work through this slide in the blueprint? No, I don't know. But if you need
learners don't have access to the blueprint, and they don't have access. If I'm in my class, I can't click on your.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Course, so.
Thank you so much.
They're in the module. They're all there.
And if you can't find something, always please reach out to Tony and say, where can I find this? So without further ado, the text element review or spotlight. Today we were talking about scales and rubrics, and the presenter today, or the winner today, and give me just a second here. I just want to make sure I pronounce his name correctly. I'm so embarrassed. I should have put it on the slide here.
Okay, it was linked from that slide.
It's going to be linked from the flies. We're going to get it here, and I'll pronounce it as a part of that. Give me just a second here.
I think it's Tevin.
Tevin, thank you. I'll tell you why I liked. I'll tell you why I liked Tevin. Let me go back to slideshow.
Trevin Thomas.
Thank you so much. I loved when he said, "Share the way they prefer." They prefer. One little phrase, one little sentence. Everything was great, Trevin, but a wonderful example of differentiated assessment. We hear so much about differentiate your instruction, but I really like when students are able to share their learning in the way that they prefer, to be able to differentiate the assessment. So it's just 2 minutes long. I'm going to let him speak. Give me just a second, and let me just play this here.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about different types of.
Can you hear that, Clint?
Here. The text goes over 3 different types. The first being obtrusive assessments, which is sort of the traditional paper and pencil type quizzes where it stops the flow of the classroom instruction. And that's probably what we're the most familiar with. And then there's unobtrusive assessments, which is where a teacher would assign a task. Let's say it's a lab or something that's part of the proficiency scales, and they just walk around and they grade students based on their general observations, but it's still based on the proficiency scales. And then another one that they talked about is student generated assessments. And I believe this is the one that they prefer because it allows students to be really creative and develop their own assessment. And it also allows them to show it in the way that they prefer. So there's a lot of multimedia examples where students can create a video to explain how to solve a math problem, for example, or just the process for something. And students can also revise their videos when they learn more about the topic by saving it as like V1, V2, V3, and it just makes it for a much easier way to turn in submissions repeatedly. And that's it.
Wouldn't you love it if all your students came to you and said, Now, I came up with my own assessment for this, Dr. Pellegrini, in regards to what you've asked us to do. It might drive you a little bit crazy. It might drive me a little bit crazy, but oh my goodness, if my students were coming up with their own assessments to demonstrate their learning, what power, how powerful that is. And so oh, I'm sorry, was there a comment? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the comment.
It was me, my phone rang.
Oh,
Apologies.
Okay, so we talked about the different
It's a powerful process. I've
The
done it with my students, and you'd be surprised with what kind of questions and what they come up with is much more rigorous than what I normally do. So but I'm coming from a secondary science background. So if you ever have the opportunity to give it a try, let your students write some questions. It's good.
it is great. It is a great thing. Give me just a second now. I'm trying to get this to move forward. We're going to give me let's see if we can do it here. Okay, let's go down to this one. Here we go. So please, would you be sure to review them all? They are great. If you'll click on this link in mine, and again, I apologize. If you're outside my class, you can't get access to this. Ask me for this, and I'll put in the chat here right now as well too. This is our link to at least the week 2 of the flips, and the other ones are here in the classroom integration. Please make sure you get signed up for this, and you can see the other weeks, and you'll post in those other weeks as well. And so give me just a second to just copy, or Clint, would you be willing to put that? I'm sorry to keep calling on you. Would you be willing to put that link in the chat just so they can have it? And then as we look to the future, Ed Camp in St. George is coming up. There's a link to that here. And again, in the presentation, it does link. And if you need the presentation from another section, I'm happy to send this to you. But you can register to that here. To USET up in Provo, early bird registration ends in just a couple of weeks to that. We'd love to see you up there. And then I think, give me just a moment here. Oh, you said early. As well to Carol's great.
Was there a USET question? Sorry,
overview of classroom technology. Oh, was there? There wasn't. I did not see a USET question, Clint. I apologize.
I'm sorry.
It was just links to the USET registration.
Yep. You did have
and make sure you
call for presentations image in there before, and those have closed up, and we should have the schedule published like tomorrow.
Wonderful.
So
wonderful.
Yeah. So get registered. It should be a great conference.
It'll be a lot of fun. So please, if your anxiety goes up, what should I be doing? Carol's done a wonderful job outlining this week-to-week technology integration, this course plan from week to week. I'd encourage you to take a look at that, make sure that you follow that step by step, and you will be great. I did not start with questions. I love starting with questions. I should have started with questions. Questions, concerns, issues out there with anything that I can help and address for you, or any of the other coaches can help you with.
Tony,
give it a try, Shanda. It's a little bit choppy, but give it a try. Yes, it's just a little choppy. I'm sorry.
I don't have good internet, I think, so that's why. On the Flipgrid thing, I signed up on the document, and then you show pictures of the other people. How do we do that? Is that through Flipgrid?
It is through
I got
Flipgrid.
that signed up.
It is through Flipgrid. So go ahead, if you've signed up for that time and that topic, then you create a Flipgrid in it's called Flip now, I'm sorry. You create a Flip in Flip, And then you upload that and make sure that the person presenting that week has that, so that he or she can make a choice of who the winner is that week. And if it's you, send me your t-shirt size and I'll get you an SU t-shirt, okay? Perfect. Great questions. Others out there that I can help with? Coaches, instructors, anything we've missed? I've missed? Okay.
Yeah, just a quick
Get home.
comment on Flipgrid. You can use, you don't have to set up a new account. Use your school Gmail if you're Gmail, or Microsoft logins. If you don't have either one of those, I'm not sure what planet you're on, but that's okay. And then you need to set up an account with Flipgrid themselves. So, but yeah, use the Google or the Microsoft buttons if you got them.
I would say one thing on using Flip. I thought we had 2 minutes, so I had mine pared down to something like 1 minute and 59 seconds. But then it told me when I was trying to process things, it's like, you're 30 seconds over. So then I had to redo. So you might need to keep it under 1 minute and 30 seconds or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, that was my experience this week.
Appreciate that.
We're living and learning. Everyone, I hope I beat Carol's time last week. And we'll just see you next week. We'll see you next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And if any questions or concerns, reach out to your instructor. We're here to help and support you. We want you to succeed, and we don't want to create anxiety in your life, okay? Keep up the great work. Keep doing your wonderful work. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thanks, everybody. Stay safe out there, warm and dry.
Have a great week.
Amen.